How do you stay fresh in your work? This is probably going to be rather specific to me, but one of the number one ways that I get excited about making something new is by doing some sample digging. A lot of my work is sample-based, especially the stuff on the OP1 synth videos that people really like. There's usually some sample in there that's kicked off the whole thing. So every once in a while, I go digital crate digging and just find a bunch of interesting or random stuff, and those usually become the core for some new project. For me, that's a really easy way to stay fresh. I don't believe in buying a new piece of gear to get inspiration. There are some exceptions, especially with Eurorack. A new module can be very inspiring, but it doesn't necessarily solve any problems or offer a cure for staleness. You still have to do something with it. You still have to put in the work. In the community, we have this thing called GAS, or Gear Acquisition Syndrome. People think, if only I had this piece of gear, my setup would be complete and I could make music. People will spend a lot of time online complaining about some feature they wish a synth had, instead of really learning the instrument, or piece, or gear, and using it to its fullest extent. I'm guilty of getting a lot of gear through here, and some of it will hang around long enough that I realize that I'm not going to use it, and then it just becomes clutter that I need to get rid of. And then I feel guilty if I haven't used something in a while. There is a certain freedom in getting rid of a piece of gear you haven't touched in a while. I don't know why. Maybe because it frees up space for new gear, or it's the fact that I don't have to think about it anymore. Maybe I didn't really like it, or it wasn't part of my workflow. And those are important things to realize too. Sometimes I really try to dig into a piece of gear I've had for a while, and I find a new way to use it. That goes back to that sitting down and playing thing. If you have a synth that has external controls, you can play with it. Or you can pull up a VST, Virtual Studio Technology, software synth that you haven't used in a long time, and try to make a new sound, or reproduce something you've heard on a record that you haven't tried before. There is no reason not to be excited about sharing the tools you're using, and if you're not excited about them, you're probably doing it wrong. And then, of course, there's the direct external freshness of consuming new media, whether that's an artist, or a film, or anything. A lot of non-music things can inform music, and I think that's really interesting. Staying receptive to new ideas can be a big part of staying fresh. What is the most important thing your creative practice has taught you? I think the biggest takeaway is that intentional creative practice will improve your skills when you're paying attention and pushing through a block or trying to learn a new idea. Practice for the sake of practice doesn't make as much sense, but intention and focus will help. Anyone who is starting or trying to get better will always be better off if they are actively learning, trying new things, and practicing those things with intention. The only reason I am where I am today is because I spent time with intentional practice and focused on the thing I wanted to get better at. I also go back to the joy of the act itself, the joy of the process. That is something we can all use in our lives to separate that part of the world we don't have control over from the part we do. Learning more about how to better express myself through my creativity and my art has helped me find a deeper relationship with my place in the world.